everybody. Welcome to another episode of the GPRO Podcast with me, Jun Ho, and I've got a very special guest with me. It's Ania Piekarska. So how are you doing?
Hi, Jun.
How are you?
I'm good. And you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. It's a very sunny day here in the UK, so, you know, it's a bit hot outside, but it's not too bad. So, obviously, I really want to know more about you. So why don't you introduce yourself and let us know what you do?
Hi, I'm Ania Piekarska, and I'm a PhD student. I'm doing a PhD in physics at the Polish Academy of Sciences in Wrocław, in Poland.
Nice. So is like physics like the kind of your kind of passion, or was there something else that you wanted to study, or was physics the one thing you want to do?
It's not like my only passion, but I find it interesting and challenging.
Fair. So how many years have you been studying for the PhD now?
I think it's 6.
This is your 6th year.
Yeah.
And how many years do you do?
It's usually between 4 or 5 to more.
Okay.
So it depends on how much you want to include in your PhD and how good it's going.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. So, what did you plan on kind of doing after your PhD? Like, kind of what jobs are you kind of maybe looking for?
I probably want to stay in academia, so just continue what I'm doing now. Okay. I like it, and why not?
Fair. Is it more to do with like researching, or are you gonna try to get to maybe like the teaching side of it, or?
I think I prefer the research part, but teaching is fun, but it depends on who are the students. If they want to learn, or they just want to survive their studies.
That's fair enough. Yeah, the students are always the main focal point, especially if you want to to teach.
But I haven't taught much in my career because our institute has no students.
Oh, okay.
I mean, no lower grade students. So all teaching I did was when I was teaching in high school for 1 year.
Oh, okay. Is that in a different school, or was that part of the academy? Or
I was actually teaching in the high school I attended before.
Okay.
And it was computer science, not physics.
How was that for you? Did you enjoy that?
I was more interested in computer science in high school.
Okay.
And then I did undergraduate studies in computer science. So I just naturally rejoined my high school as a teacher for a moment.
Okay. So so you changed from computer science to physics in between your kind of university kind of studies?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I was still interested, and I am still interested in both. It's kind of like computer science is very useful in theoretical physics.
Fair enough then. Yeah, I sciences I'm not that couldn't. Even though I work in a lab, like a food testing lab, I still, science is completely kind of out of my league. I'm not that good. But no, that's very interesting. But obviously, most of the people here want to listen more about your GPRO career. So, firstly, how did you find GPRO?
I like the game because it's challenging. So it's not a game where I can just click buttons and success comes from clicking the buttons more often than others.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's kind of how I kind of stayed on, is because it actually takes some kind of researching and kind of figuring out how to race and how to do certain stuff, and I think that's what kept me in for like a good 10-11 years. But like, are you like a big fan of Formula One? Like how did you get, how did you first find the game, via the internet or via Google or whatever?
I liked Formula One, but I wouldn't say I'm like a big fan, but I follow what's going on. I found the game at the very beginning from some other online game.
Okay.
That was just who is clicking the buttons faster.
Oh, okay.
And people said, hey, if you want to play a game that is more interesting and is not pay to win, check out this one.
Oh, fair enough then. Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah, fair. I mean, before then there used to be a lot of kind of promotions for GPRO in different games. I found mine through the football management game, Hat-Trick Online, and that's where I found this. And like you said, it's not a pay to win game. It's not a game where it's easy to to win, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean that's how I it got my interest for sure. But how did you find the game initially? Like, did you find it like difficult at the start, or did you find it okay or easy, or how did you find it?
At first, I actually didn't realize that it's a different kind of a game.
Okay.
So I just tried entering some numbers, and I was like mid-table or something like that.
Yeah.
And I needed I think my first team that pointed out to me that it's actually something more than just entering numbers. So that, I mean, I needed that piece of information that I can look for stuff.
Yeah. I mean, did your first team kind of help you, get the basics, like understanding, or?
I think it was like a group of people where no one knew anything. So
okay.
It's not like they knew much more than me, but it was definitely useful that we all wanted to improve.
That's fair enough then, yeah. I mean, my first team was pretty much the same. We had a nice group of kind of British people all together, and we just talked and tried to figure out the game ourselves, and kind of understandable there. So I've just done a little bit of research before this, and I realized we were both in the same amateur group in like season 20. Like, I don't know how that happened, but I mean, between season 20 and season kind of 30, you were kind of, going up to pro, even to master at one point, and then going back down to pro and amateur. So how much of that was based on kind of learning, or did your team kind of finally figure out how to play the game during that time?
I actually remember racing with you at the beginning.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think you were active on the forums at the time.
I probably was. Yeah, I can't remember that far.
So I just saw that in my group there is this guy who is active on the forums.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was very active then. I think I was typing so much before then. Yeah.
I think I wasn't so active outside the Polish community. So between that first team and the moment where I went to pro and master for a moment, I changed team to a Polish team, and it was a team where there were quite a lot of experienced managers, and we were all looking to improve a lot, and there was some research going and so on, and so I was a part of that kind of active group, and it just went well to also do good at the game, not only at the research. And I was spending more time on the game then, so it resulted in me going in the higher leagues.
Fair. I mean, did you guys have like some sort of like so-called tool back then where you kind of figure out your setup, or were you still in the process of making one at that time?
We were in the process, but we had quite a lot figured out. But I think before we finally figured out like the setup stuff or something like that, one of our members got it from a friend, so we stopped that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's fair enough then. Yeah. I remember when I was in a team called Grim Reaper Racing. They were quite I wouldn't say like elite team, but they were quite high up, and they did have a lot of stuff figured out when I joined. We were in the process of making a tool and everything, and yeah, I believe someone gave our team leader a tool or something, and we managed to use that. But yeah, there's a lot of pass me downs back then, a lot of help from other teams. So obviously, you went to that Polish team. Was that the team before your current team now, or were you in a few more before then? I didn't really look at the.
I was in that team for a few years, and it was the only. I mean, technically speaking, I switched between two teams from the same family, but it was just this one team family, and then I went to my current team.
Okay, yeah. And how did because obviously we know Gulf Porsche racing in GPRO is, what we consider, the top teams, always been challenging, top 10, top 5, maybe even the title. So how did that join, how did that, move come about from your old team to, your current team now?
I was after the first 1 or 2 years of me being in the Polish team, I became a bit inactive because of my life, and the team went along with their lives as well. So we were just kind of racing and sometimes not even talking. But we just stayed friends and like looked for advice when we needed it, but didn't really communicate too much. And at some point I decided I might want to rejoin the game more actively. And since my team was still rather inactive, I looked for another one.
Yeah. And then obviously, the other one was Gulf Porsche Racing. So so how did that come about? Did you send like an application into the team, and then like how was the process for you when you applied to that team?
I mean, it's not like I wanted to move on so much that I'd like to join just any other team that is active, because a bit inactive but still helpful team sounded better than a weak team with active members. So it was either I join some top team or just stay playing kind of alone and kind of with friends. So I applied to only one team, to Gulf Porsche, and was accepted, and that's it.
Was there like any other teams that you may were looking for, or was Gulf Porsche the one that you really wanted to go to?
Out of the teams that had an open position, I think it was the only one.
Okay.
But of course, there are some top teams that I'd consider if they had a spot open.
So obviously with your change to Gulf Porsche, your career kind of grew and kind of upgraded to what it is now. So now obviously you're in elite, obviously been in master quite a number of seasons as well. So how did Gulf Porsche help you get better at the game?
I think the surprising thing is that it was mostly a change of mindset.
Okay.
I mean, sure, there are some tools that give the, I don't know, the final 5% or something, but it's the mindset of looking at the details and planning stuff and so on. So it's something that someone could have told me just 2 sentences and I'd get better.
Yeah.
I think even if I was rejected back then, I got this mindset already from the messages I exchanged with the Gulf Porsche teammates during the recruitment process.
Okay. Fair. So like I said, obviously you're in elite now. So how difficult was it for you to make that jump from master to elite? Because obviously your first stint at elite only occurred maybe I think it was 3 seasons ago. So how difficult was it for you to try to get to promote to elite and now retaining there as well? Like how difficult was it for you?
I think this is the part where the team played a big role, because I wouldn't really know what to do. They had the experience from the higher levels, and they shared it with me. I also got some of this experience when I was helping my teammates earlier when I was still in amateur.
Okay.
Like when I got holiday, their accounts, for example. So I got to see some of that. So I was, let's say, less scared about the higher leagues, because this was something where I had really no experience before.
That's fair. That's fair. So obviously now you're, a marquee kind of name in elites at the moment. Do you feel you might stay there for the next 5-10 seasons? Like, is your plan to, obviously the plan one day is to win the elite championship, but do you have like a long-term plan to maybe stay there like Roland is for like the next 10-20 seasons, just trying to maintain your elite status, or were you planning on maybe going down and back up again?
That's a hard question, because I still don't know enough about elite to plan anything about it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I know. Yeah. When I did think about the question, I did think this might be a little bit too hard for you, but that's. but
But
no,
I'm
like,
definitely considering both the option of trying to stay there as long as possible, and the option of demoting before actually spending all my money.
Yeah.
But that's an open question.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. To be honest, I didn't really expect much of an answer for that one, so that's perfectly fine. But has your like interest in GPRO like increased ever since you've moved to Gulf Porsche racing? Because I'm assuming moving to a top team must have kind of renewed your interest in it. Because obviously you said you weren't that active before moving there, and obviously you wanted to become more active afterwards. So did you feel like your interest has kind of increased now, especially maybe because you got to elites now and kind of maintaining there?
Yes, definitely. It was like a mutual thing, because I joined Gulf Porsche because I was getting more active, and got more active because I joined them. So it worked both ways, but yes, I got even more active than I thought I will.
Yeah. Obviously, Gulf Porsche, you won your first team championship. Was it, I think, 3-4 seasons ago? I can't remember the actual season in which you won the. You won. I think you won the team championship, didn't you? I'm not remembering this wrong. Yeah,
I don't remember which season it was, but we did.
Yeah, I remember your post in the Oscars page when you won the overachieving team, which was pretty good. But obviously, your team would want more. Has your team ever thought about kind of doing what the other teams are doing, like the Malati team, the Malati family? They got like 3 teams. The Nuvolari family, they got 3 or 4 teams. Have you ever thought about doing kind of like sister teams within yourselves, or?
I haven't heard about it. Maybe the others thought about it, but not me.
Yeah, I haven't heard. Yeah, this is literally just a question. I haven't heard anything from anybody. I just didn't know if like major teams were actually thinking of doing that. Like obviously, because obviously Gulf Porsche, Jaguar, Tiger, Edifice, you all don't have sister teams. But do you feel like maybe having a sister team would get you into that next level, or did you feel, keeping that one team is ideal?
In my previous team, we had 2 teams, and I was a leader of that 2-team family for a moment, and it was very hard to keep track of everyone, and it seems like it was much more than double effort than over having just one team. So I personally don't really like the idea of okay, I don't like the idea of leading the sister teams. Maybe someone else wants to.
Yeah, fair.
But on the other hand, getting twice as much data is obviously very useful.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Obviously, that'll be the kind of the major benefit of a sister team for sure. But personally, I never liked kind of sister teams. I always thought teams are there for a reason, and they should just be a team of 10, and that's it. But other teams have different opinions, and this is how it is. But let's move away from your GPRO career now and speak more about kind of how you got into the forums. Because obviously, like you said, near the start, you kind of weren't really active in the forums apart from maybe the Polish foreign language kind of thread. So how did you initially get into the forums? Like, was it by forum games, or was it by kind of certain general threads that you were looking at?
I don't think I'm really too active on the general forum. It's just I think I post in the key topics only, so maybe that's how people recognize me there. I don't really like saying anything when I don't have anything to say.
Of course,
So I just post in the topics where I feel like I can add something to the discussion. So maybe that's how people can see my posts there. Like I'm everywhere because I'm in the key places.
That's good. Yeah, fair. Yeah, fair. So how did you get into the forum games? Did you because I'm always really interested in how people get into forum games and how they found their first one. So how did you get into?
I got to the first I think it was GPRO Vision, hosted by my teammate Miko.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And I think this is when I unblacklisted the Silly Games forum.
I would assume most people would have ignored that, put it in the ignore list. It's a very kind of very spammy in certain areas. But yeah, GPRO Vision. Yeah, Miko is the GPRO Vision like guru. Shall we say? He's the guy that that is very yeah, he's very interested in I mean, I'm very interested in music, so GPRO Vision is definitely a game that I was all the more happy to play. But yeah, I mean, obviously GPRO Vision. Is there any other forum games that you play currently or on like previously?
I played a couple more after that. I think right now it's just SRS that I play. I'm not sure if there is any more. I tried the F1 forum game, but it was too time consuming.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy, that game. That game is. It takes too much time from you, like just refreshing and make sure there's no race. But yeah, but obviously, another game that you're in is a game that I'm hosting, GPRO Chess League. Obviously, everyone seems to be scared playing you in chess in the league, which is pretty remarkable. So, yeah, tell me about chess more. So how did you get into chess? Like, I'm assuming you played it at a young age, or did you get into it a few years ago, or like how?
I started playing chess when I was like 12, I think. It was some additional classes I can take at school.
Okay.
Like the something that occurs after the classes. I don't know how it's called.
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah.
And I played in a club until I was like 18, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I decided I don't want to pursue a chess career, so I pretty much stopped learning chess, but I still like it, so I just play it for fun.
Okay.
So it's like over 10 years that I'm just playing online.
Fair enough. So what's your elo at the moment?
I think it is around 1800, but I haven't played on the board for 10 years, so I don't think it's really accurate.
I mean, you must. I mean, you must have maintained it somehow. So 1800 might be accurate, But obviously, you're playing in the chess league in GPRO. How are you finding that? Because obviously, you're playing a lot of GPRO managers that also play chess. Maybe casually, maybe more seriously. So how are you finding that?
I like that league, and you say that people are scared of me, but I actually lost a match recently to Joaquin.
Oh yes, I do remember that. Yes, yeah, that was a.
It was 3 games that were all very, very even until the last minutes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I was analyzing, but kind of rewatching that game through the links. Yeah, it was definitely a close match, but yeah, is there like a would you plan on playing like chess more often in the near future? Like, has the league kind of reignited your interest in the game, or?
I'm playing a different league on the chess side.
Okay.
So I'm pretty much all the time in touch. But that GPRO league is interesting. I mean, it's interesting to see people who don't play chess too much every day, and see how they improve and what kind of ideas have people who just come to chess like it's a game they never saw before.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the whole reason why I introduced like a GPRO only elo system is to see that improvement and to see that kind of growth and just progress that people have when they play. So yeah, I'm glad that people are enjoying that, because we've got over 30 people now part of that league, which is pretty insane. But let's go back to GPR Origin for the time being. So obviously you must have a really kind of big interest in music. Kind of what genre of music do you listen to the most?
I think I like pretty much all music. So there really, I can't really say. Probably rock music is like the thing that I would go with, but I listen to like everything depending on the occasion. Like for work, classical music is very good, but also kind of like electronic music. So it really depends. You can probably also see it in the GPRO Vision game that I'm usually submitting the unpredictable stuff.
But it is good music. Like that's why I love GPRO Vision. It's just to kind of get me looking at different genres of music that I never really listened to. So obviously there's a band I always kind of think that you sent. So there's a band called I can't remember what they're called now. Is it Electrical Light Orchestra? I can't remember their full name, but I remember you sending that song in, and because of you sending that song in, I've gone through the whole, list of albums and singles and just been listening to them, and it's kind of it's kind of opened my eyes to different bands. But do you have like a top 5 band that you can list out to me now? Like who do you listen to the most?
That would be hard question. I really don't know.
That's fine. That's fine. Like, is there not like a band, like an artist that pops straight into your head when people ask, your favorites? Or
it's like when people ask me for my favorite band, it's like I totally forget that I know any band at all.
No, that's fair. That's fair enough. Yeah, like you, I'm all for like all music. Like I don't mind listening to any music. Like any genre is good for me. But whenever people ask me for my favorite band, I always say Red Hot Chili Peppers, just because their music is just second. Like I don't know any other bands that are like them. They're just unique and they're just really, really kind of good. Their bass lines, their riffs, guitar riffs are just they're just so good. do you play any like instruments yourself? Like
I used to play piano in primary school, but I stopped it in primary school.
Okay.
And I have a guitar and I play it exactly once a year because in my city there is a festival where we beat the World Guinness record of the most people playing an instrument at one time.
Oh wow! Okay.
And we are playing Hendrix Hey Joe, and it's the record is our right now. I think it's like 8,000 guitars.
Wow.
Or something like that.
Wow!
I learned to play the guitar long ago, but right now it's once a year.
Like, obviously you played Jimi Hendrix, Hey Joe, but did you play more songs? Like, you must have learned the guitar at a reasonable level to try to play different songs. like how long did you learn the guitar for?
It's maybe to say too much that I'm playing Hey Joe, because we are just playing the basic chords and not the solo. So my guitar level is more like sit at the campfire and sing songs, and not.
Hey, but nothing wrong with that. That's for sure. That's you got to learn. You got to start from somewhere, and basic chords are always the one to start off with. Yeah, was there like any other instruments that you might want to learn? Like any other instruments that you might want to try to play?
I think not.
Okay, fair.
I don't have any more ideas.
Fair
I think
enough.
guitar is pretty flexible when it comes to what you can play and where you can take it.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair enough for me. So, what other hobbies do you have? Besides playing GPRO, or what other hobbies do you have?
I like crochet.
Okay.
I make some tiny figures, and for example, I have a couple of dinosaurs, a couple of goblins, and stuff like that.
Okay. That's really interesting. Was it crochet? Is it?
Yeah.
I've heard of it, and I kind of know how it's done, but like, how's the game of crochet played? Like, so yeah, I've only heard of this. I've only heard of the sport. I haven't actually know exactly how it's played.
I think quite a lot of people might have had it at school, but I just learned it because I thought it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's fun. It's the kind of a hobby where you can create something and see the result. Like you don't have to wonder, is it good or is it bad, or am I doing good? But you just see, like, you're holding a tiny dinosaur, so it worked.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Do you have any to show at the moment, or do you?
I have a penguin.
Ah, that's cute. That's really nice. Fair. So is it okay? Is there like a club that you go to that everyone else does as well? Like you can go over and show different, your different kind of creations, or?
I know of people who do, but I just stay online with those. Okay. So I read some blogs about crochet, or I joined a Discord channel where people show their creations.
Yeah, that is really interesting, though.
I have a dinosaur too.
Oh, oh my god, that is actually amazing. That is actually so good. Wow. So, so like, so do you learn how to like do these certain things, or like, or do you just go for it and then whatever comes out comes out, or is there like a certain like pattern on how to do it?
There are patterns on the internet. Most of the things I did were from a pattern.
Okay.
But when I do many patterns for, I don't know, or round things or something like that, I can mostly shape my own round thing that is similar to that without a pattern.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I would. Yeah.
I'm not really at a level where I just create something without any help at all.
That's fair. Yeah, because I kind of thought it would be something like origami, where you have to follow a certain kind of pattern to create certain things. But it's nice to hear that you can do it freely if you need to. But yeah, that does look like a very interesting hobby, and especially we got those little figurines just sitting around. So how many have you made since you learned it?
I think it's in the around 20, maybe 30.
Wow, fair.
And it's, I think, 2 years.
Oh, 2 years. Okay. How long does it take you to make one on average?
It really depends on how familiar I am with the pattern. For the small things, if I did it before, it's like I can do one in 2 hours maybe. But the first time making something from a pattern takes much longer. But it's like if I take a couple of evenings in a week, I can finish pretty much any like small figure in a couple of days.
Okay, that's not too bad then. I would have thought it might take a little bit longer just because of how woven everything is, but a couple of days doesn't seem to be that bad.
When some people prefer to make, for example, blankets or stuff like that, and it really takes a long time because it's big. I mean, all the stuff I do is small, so as long as I don't have any technical problems with mistakes or something like that, it's not much.
Would you plan in the future to maybe do something much bigger, like a blanket or something, or are you going to stick to the small figurines and?
I think the small figurines are nice. For a blanket, I probably need to buy a different yarn, and like probably it's even a different kind of a skill needed for that.
Fair enough then. But no, that's very interesting. I've heard of it, but I've never kind of seen people do it. So it's actually really nice to see someone has that interest. Is there any other interest that you might have, like any other hobbies that you do apart from that one?
Probably not anything that I'd be much into.
Fair. Is there any kind of sports that you might be interested in? Because obviously you must have an interest in maybe a motorsport that might happen. Is there anything that you kind of into?
I like riding bike and playing table tennis.
Okay.
it's not really anything serious.
Okay. So do you play, you ride a bike and you play what for fun? Do you follow any like professional sports based on them or?
No.
Yeah. That's fair enough then, that's fair. Is there like a club that you go to for table tennis to play, or do you just play with friends? And
I have a table just outside of my window. It's a freestanding table, like on the grass, as a stone table. So when the weather is good enough, I can just go outside and play.
Okay. And do you like what get a neighbor and then see if they want to play, or do you have fair enough. And you said you're interested in riding bikes. So what do you do? How often do you cycle? Do you cycle every day, or like obviously when the weather is okay? But do you try to cycle every day, or?
I used to cycle to school, so I was cycling pretty much every day. Also in the when the weather wasn't really that good.
Okay.
But recently I'm not cycling.
Okay. Is that mainly due to COVID and you're staying at home more often, or?
Yeah, I stay home.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's fair enough. I really need to get back to cycling. I cycled a lot, like you going to school, going every day, going there and going back. But I've kind of stopped when I moved away from Cambridge, and then when I moved back to Cambridge, I've kind of lost my bike and I don't know where everything is. So I need to get a bike and need to start cycling, that's for sure. Because it's definitely nice to just take in the fresh air outside and just cycle around and just have a look at certain things. So, but yeah. And any other hobbies that you have at all?
Probably not. I don't have any more ideas.
That's fair enough.
I used to do some things for some time, but nothing that I'd stay doing for longer.
Okay. What did you do before that you did for a bit?
I mean, you pretty much asked about those like chess or playing piano or stuff like that.
Oh, okay. That's fair then. That's fair enough. Yeah, fair. I mean, other than kind of playing GPRO, like what other kind of pastimes do you do? Like, do you have like a TV series you might be into, or like any video games that you might be into?
I'm not really watching TV. I don't have a TV at home, and no, I'm not watching any TV series. And not playing games too much, really.
Hey there, I just want to interrupt this podcast to introduce another awesome musician in GPRO. So Mick Ridley is part of this band called Tick Tick Boom, and they're a kind of a tribute band that kind of plays all classic rock music, and they're awesome. They play bands such as Metallica, Iron Maiden, Led Zeppelin. And this next clip that I'm gonna play is actually Led Zeppelin's cover of Rock and Roll by Tick Tick Boom. So please give them all the love that you have. Mick's are really good. Their band's really good. I hope they have some free time soon to do a kind of a demo kind of CD in a studio somewhere, because it'll be awesome to listen to that. But for now you'll hear this live rendition of Rock and Roll. And enjoy, guys. So did you play video games before, or?
Not much. Like I would sometimes play, but I'm not really a gamer. I think I mostly liked some kind of RPG games.
Okay. Yeah.
I think looking at how much people usually play, I'd say I'm not playing any games.
Fair. I mean, yeah. I mean, I've kind of stopped playing. I mean, I used to play games a lot, but then nowadays I've just completely stopped and kind of focused mostly on GPRO forum games and just playing, just watching YouTube and stuff like that. So it's fair. Do you watch a lot? Do you watch a lot of YouTube as well, or do you not?
No, I'm a kind of a person who doesn't really get much, that doesn't really remember much from a video.
Okay.
So I prefer to read than to listen to something.
That's fair. So I'm assuming you're currently reading now. So like, what books are you reading at the moment?
No books at the moment.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I think the most recent thing I read was the whole series from the Ender's Game universe.
Okay.
It's like there is a couple arcs that I read from there.
Fair enough.
But it was quite long ago.
Okay.
I used to read mostly on the bus. But since I'm not going anywhere during COVID, I'm not reading any books.
No, that's fair. That's fair enough, Ted. COVID kind of made people relax a little bit more, don't have to be so stressed. So yeah, that's fair enough if you're not doing anything. But no, listen, Ania, it's been so fun talking to you, man. It's been really good. It's been good to learn more about you as well. Yeah, any final words from you at all? That's fine. Don't worry about it. I hope you had fun though. Did you have fun?
Yeah, I had fun, but I'm not too creative to give you any final words.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you though. It's been good to learn more about you. And I hope you guys have enjoyed listening. Episode 10 is going to be a really special guest, so hope you look forward to that one. But for now, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Ania, for your time, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you. See you.